The following footage you're about to watch is from my street photography exploration yesterday around the Southbank Centre and the National Theatre in London. I messed up a little bit. I got there and I realised I'd forgotten the memory card for this camera, so yeah, I was really annoyed. I managed to record some bits on my phone and on my GoPro, so hopefully I've been able to sort of mishmash together an episode. I still wanted to give you behind the scenes of how I work, so the following footage is going to be from yesterday. Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 2 of Street Journals. I was a bit of an idiot and I forgot my SD card for my vlogging camera, so I'm having to do it on my phone. So apologies about that, but I wanted to bring you the second episode in this series. I've come down to the Southbank Centre, which is popular for doing some street stuff. It's good for a little warm-up location, and hopefully we can get some stuff down here. I think it's worth talking about why this location is pretty good for street stuff. It's because there's lots of like brutalist architecture, so a lot of it's quite flat, a lot of concrete involved, and the light actually plays really nicely around here. So hopefully the sun will come out. It's just gone behind a cloud, so who knows, maybe it'll come out, maybe it won't. So one of the things that I'm playing with is this different type of focus mode with the Fuji. I think it's more to do with tracking subjects, so I think it might work better for people moving. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a go. Got my GoPro to record some point of view stuff as well, so yeah, just going to play around with the settings and try and get some nice light going, see what I can work with. I feel so stupid for forgetting my memory card, my SD card for my other camera. It's like the one thing I didn't want to forget, but yeah, hopefully this is working out. This entire location in this building, it's so good for street stuff because there's so many like sub-frames you can get people in, and like literally just this frame here. Another bonus about shooting in a location like this is that you can get up high in different locations, which is pretty unique for an area around London. Okay, so I've just been wandering around quite a lot, trying to get some different angles and things. I've sort of exhausted this location today, I think. The sun really hasn't come out at all, which is a bit of a shame, but I think I'm going to move on to somewhere like Shoreditch, maybe meet up with a couple of mates, and see where we go from there. I think without any sort of like harsh contrasty light, this location isn't going to work as well as somewhere else that has a bit more interest in it in terms of the environment, whereas around here it's more like the architecture is what it is, and then the lighting can either make or break how it looks in the image. I'm going to stop recording on this. I'm so annoyed I forgot my little Canon that I was going to record this episode on, but yeah, I think we're going to call it a day here. I'll see you back in my studio, I guess I can call it the studio now, where I'm going to analyse some of the photos from today and some of the photos that you'll see later on that I'm going to create once I leave this little spot. Apologies, this has been such a weird little episode. I really wanted to try and start the series off with a bang, but at the same time I wanted to show my process behind how I go around taking street photos. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this part. So there we go, there's a bit of a behind the scenes for you into what I managed to get up to yesterday. I really wanted to get out of the house and try and do some more things with my street photography before I go away again. One of the things that I really wanted to expand on is actually using more colour in my photography. I mean, I tend to sort of shift towards black and white. You saw in the last episode, all the images were in black and white, and I really enjoy using black and white for street stuff because you have to focus more on composition and things like that. However, on this shoot, I really wanted to try and incorporate more colour into the images, just to give it a bit of just to try and mix things up a little bit for my own personal enjoyment of photography, and also just to try and get back into the groove of always experimenting and making sure you're doing things that push you and challenge you. So my favourite image from this shoot is actually this one here of the guy checking his watch. I noticed he had been sort of standing around for quite a while. I managed to get up a stairwell in around the National Theatre. If anybody knows that area, then they'll know that there's quite a few stairwells that you can actually go up. You just got to be careful about security because they can get a bit sort of twitchy about people taking photos and videos around there. Anyway, I managed to get this sort of top-down view of this guy checking his watch. And I don't know, I really like the way the concrete creates a sort of leading line down the image into this guy with like, this quite vibrant shirt. And I managed to get a catch light on his watch, so it looks like the watch is illuminated, and it's pretty obvious that's what the image is based around. Another favourite for me is of the guy standing against Waterloo Station, the Underground station. He's leaning up against some glass and he's got a cigarette in his left hand, and he's just sort of standing there, sort of contemplating, seeing people walking by. I noticed this guy because his reflection stood out to me, so I was able to actually capture him and his reflection, and I think it works really well as an image. Again, I've just got it on my phone so I can see what I'm talking about whilst I'm explaining. So if there's only one thing I would have changed, is I probably would have tried to get a bit closer to the glass to see if I can do anything else with that reflection. Obviously I was actually on my way to going into the tube and I was in a bit of a hurry, so another potential area that I now know has some good images around there, especially with all the glass and reflections and people waiting around. So hopefully in the future I can go back there, revisit the location and create some better images. My least favourite image is this one, and I don't know, I've just got it here on my phone and just looking at it, it doesn't really seem to line up with anything. It's always interesting to take it and look at it on a smaller screen, because you can sort of move it around easily and you can sort of change things and see how it looks. And one of the things that stands out to me is just the way that it's composed, and the guy who's just sort of standing there, he's not in the center of the image, as you can see. He's just sort of on one of the, between the thirds. He's not either on a third, he's not in the middle. Compositionally it just doesn't work very well. And the white space there, it should take up more of the image like that, I think. So it's another potential location I can revisit. So later in the day I managed to meet up with some of my mates from my university and two other people who I haven't met before. So we were walking around like Little Venice in Camden, and we found this pretty cool car park that was empty. I think it was actually the car park for the London Zoo, and it was completely empty. So we were able to just sort of mill around in there. And there was this one guy who, well, I never actually saw the guy, but he was sitting in his van and he just had like flip-flops on. I think he might have lived out of his van or something. And I managed to get a shot of his feet underneath his car, which I actually really like. It's not a particularly strong image, but as a photo it's quite comical and I think it works quite well. So yeah, I'm just going to share some of the images at the end of this video from that shoot, and you should definitely check out Matt, Matthias, and I'll link the other people as well down below so you can go and check out their Instagram profiles. But apart from that, thank you for watching. I'm sorry it was a completely messed up video, but I still really wanted to bring you episode 2 of Street Journals. I really hope you enjoyed the first episode of Street Journals. I'm actually releasing that today. I haven't released it yet, so I want to try and keep a buffer going so I can always have one episode recorded and then one to release, so I always have some content to provide. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.